Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine. So I'll also like to welcome His Grace Padmanabh Swaroop Prabhuji. So we thought that it will be wise to revise the chapters we have already completed. So far we have completed first three chapters of Sri Harinaam Chintamani by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So today we'll be going through the first chapter. So I'll be discussing the first half of it, and thereafter His Grace Padmanabh Swaroop Prabhuji will take it forward. So this book was compiled by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it was compiled in the year 1900 when he was almost 62 years old. This book is basically a compilation of conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Srila Haridas Thakur, the Namacharya. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has taken this conversation from different biographies of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Haridas Thakur, and therein he has compiled this nectar for all of us. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur highlights in the initial part of this first chapter, which is named as Sri Nam Mahatma Suchana, the glories of the holy name. This chapter actually forms the foundation of glories of the holy name thereafter, which we'll be discussing. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur highlights that Haridas Thakur was very clear about the identity of Lord Chaitanya. He knew that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him to share the glories of the holy name, he felt very bad. And out of his humility, he said that, what can I share? You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because you are ordering me, you're asking me to do that, I'll do that. Whatever I have heard from you. Right? So the first question and the foremost question asked by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, how may the conditioned souls be easily delivered? This question actually forms the basis of entire discussion. And actually it is on the basis of this question that this whole book is compiled. The answer of this question will be our point of discussion in this entire text, right? So Haridas Thakur shares his utter humility. I'm not fit person, but it's by your grace, by your mercy, that I like to share what I can share, right? So please be merciful and allow this sinner to relish the sweetness in them, right? What is them? Is your names, which have no end, transcendental qualities which have no end. Your forms have no end, and the pastimes have no end. So His Grace Padmanabh Swaroop Prabhu shared that Krishna and all things related with Krishna are Ananta, right? So that is what Haridas Thakur is saying, that, your pastimes, your forms, your glories, your names have no end. Okay. So now, before discussing the glories of holy name, Srila Haridas Thakur establishes the very foundation on which we will be discussing the glories of the holy name. And the foundation is Krishna himself. The foundation is Krishna's potencies, right? So what is the truth of Krishna? That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that all his desires are fulfilled. He is eternal. He is master of all potencies, and he is greater than the greatest. He is epitome of everything, right? So thereafter, Haridas Thakur discusses Krishna and his potencies, that how Krishna and his potencies are non-different. that how his potencies are always dependent on Krishna. They are never independent, right? And what are these potencies? Now, we have to understand it very clearly that when we are talking about his potencies, they are non-different from Krishna. They are Vishnu Tattva in themselves. And these potencies are his powers and his glories. So his potencies are his powers and glories. So glories, in a sense, what we hear in the name, what we hear in the pastimes, what we hear through Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of description of his powers and glories, which actually is non-different from Krishna. So when we are associating with Srimad Bhagavatam, when we are hearing Bhagavatam, when we are reading and studying Bhagavatam, actually we are directly interacting with Krishna. When we are chanting the holy names, we are attentively hearing the holy names, we are directly interacting with Krishna, right? And his glories and powers have no end. Again, as Krishna is Anant, his potencies are Anant, and his glories and powers are also Anant. Primarily, these potencies are of three types, right? Which is Bahiranga, the external, the Tatas Shakti, which is Jiva, and Bhairanga is the matter, the Maya Shakti, and Antaranga, which is the spirit, right? So spiritual potency, the material potency, and the marginal. So these are the three primary potencies of Krishna. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur highlights that Haridas Thakur is first and foremost, he's describing about his Krishna's spiritual powers and glories. His spiritual powers and glories fall under the umbrella of spiritual potencies, right? So, which are his abode, which starts with Vaikuntha, the Golok Vrindavan, his names primarily, which are Govind, Krishna, Hari, his forms, which starts with his two-handed Shyam Sundar form, and his qualities. And the foremost quality is his quality to delight his devotees in his wonderful qualities, to attract his devotees. And then his pastimes. And the foremost of his pastimes are of that Rasa Leela with the gopis, and as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his Harinam Sankirtan, again with his devotees. So these are basically his spiritual potencies. Now, you see, all of his spiritual powers and glories are not material. Even though they may be manifested within the material world, they are themselves not material. So his spiritual powers and glories, his pastimes, his names, his abode, his form, although we see all of these in material world, they still remain intact. In a sense, they are spiritual. Essentially, they are all spiritual, right? So, and they are non-different from Krishna. Lord Krishna's powers and glories are Lord Krishna himself. They are as good as Vishnu Tattva, right? So this is important for us to understand. Thereafter, Lord Krishna's spiritual powers and glories are always situated in pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva. And Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur is highlighting and reiterating again that Lord Krishna himself and them, the potencies, right? They are non-different. Primarily, the spiritual powers and glories are non-different from Krishna, the Vishnu Tattva. Okay, so herein we are talking about his spiritual potencies, which are his names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. Okay, so Lord Krishna is not a transformation of matter, which some of the other schools think so, but that is not the fact. Lord Krishna is not a transformation of matter. He is always situated in pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, which is beyond matter, right? So it's not mixed with passion, ignorance. There's no tinge of it. And so are all the powers and glories, which includes the name, the qualities, the form, and the pastimes. This needs to be embedded in our brain. And that is when and where we will see that they're non-different from Krishna. When we when we come in touch with the deities, when we come in touch with the names, when we come and discuss his qualities and pastimes through Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, these texts are non-different from Krishna, right? So, and Srila Haridas Thakur is again highlighting that when he enters the material world, Lord Krishna remains the controller of the matter, right? The name Vishnu still refers to him. He's controller of Maya. Maya is still his property and subordinate. Devi Yasha Gunmai Mam Maya Duruttaya, right? While others, like Shiva, Brahma, and other demigods, they are in mixed goodness. Mixed goodness means the goodness which is tinged also with passion and ignorance, against Shuddha Sattva, which is pure goodness, which is only the Vishnu Tattvas, Sri Krishna, right? So manifestation of his spiritual powers and glories are, as we discussed, right? His holy abode, the pastimes, all. They are manifested by your spiritual powers and glories, which is Chit Vaibhav. Right? So material powers, now against spiritual potencies, we discuss his what? That was Antaranga Shakti, and now is Bahiranga, the material powers and glories, which is Maya Tattva. So, which form actually the 14 planetary systems, right, within this universe. And they form the power and glory of Maya, which is called Devi Dham. Right? See, all the planets. Now, your spiritual powers and glories are all perfect and complete. The spiritual powers, which we discussed, the name, form, qualities, and pastimes, are all perfect and complete. While your material powers and glories are shadows of your spiritual powers and glories. Right? So that is kind of distinction between the two. And thereafter, he discussed the Tathastha, the third potency, the third Shakti, which is the individual spirit souls, which again are fragments of what? Of your spiritual potency. Because they are fragments of spiritual potency, they are spiritual in nature. And that is why the individual soul possesses free will. And again, there is no end to these individual souls. There is no end to the number of individual souls. They are motivated by desire to find pleasure. This is very important. This distinguishes between the kind of different souls, the Mukta Jiva, right? The Baddha Jiva. That is the difference where what is the distinguishing factor within these different individual souls is the motivation that by which they seek the pleasure. So now we will see Mukta Jiva. What are they doing? They seek pleasure by associating with Krishna. And that is why they are liberated soul. They are Mukta Jiva. While others, Baddha Jiva, soul thinks that he will be happy independently. And therefore, they yearn to stay by the side of Maya. Right? So turning the face away from Krishna, and they stay within the Maya Dham, right? Within the Bahiranga Shakti of Krishna. Even so, Krishna gives his mercy to them. To whom? To the Baddha Jiva. Right? Now, you are the Supreme Lord. Individual souls are your potencies. You always think of your servants' welfare. Because we all are Krishnas. Krishna always thinks for our welfare. You kindly bestow whatever happiness your servants seek. Now it is dependent on us. What we desire, Krishna will fulfill that desire. So it is up to us. And that is where the transformation of desire comes. We have to desire spiritual things. We have to desire to associate with spiritual potency of Krishna. Now, here, the description of what the Baddha will end up doing. They end up interacting with so-called karma kanda activities. What are they? Dharma, yagya, yoga, homa, vratas, which are all auspicious, shubh karma, that brings material happiness in the material world, right? These auspicious activities are all material, they are not spiritual. And one can attain material benefits out of them, right? So by their power, one attains material pleasure and residence even in higher material world, right? So by performing these auspicious material activities, one attains only temporary material pleasures. One does not attain spiritual peace. The struggle to attain material goals is a great mistake. So why is Srila Haridas Thakur putting this? To warn us. What is the difference between our desire for associating with spiritual potency versus material potencies? Okay. So herein, I'll hand it over to Padmanabh Swaroop Prabhuji, and I'll stop sharing this text. So Padmanabh Swaroop Prabhuji will take us forward. Prabhuji, you are on mute if you, by chance, you are speaking.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So till now we discussed this Karma Kanda activity, Karma Kanda. Now, what is the further remedy or kind of how we can move from that stage or that problem? So the way to rise above that condition. So the association of devotees is the key. If by associating with devotees he understands who conditioned soul, so he understands I am a spirit soul, Lord Krishna's servant, then the soul can cross beyond the world of Maya. So the key is association of devotee. Okay. The rare result is attained only by performing very pious deeds. Very pious deeds matlab this is the bhakti unmukhi sukriti. Very pious deeds. Pious deeds uh, in Karma Kanda also there are pious deeds like Homa, Yajna, Vratas, all these things are there. But by these activities one gets Karma Unmukhi Sukriti. But by doing Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti, one gets the association of devotees. When the Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti gets matured, then one gets the association of devotees, and then further things happen. Then one gets the Shraddha in the devotees, one gets Shraddha in the process of Bhakti, and then further things happen. Now, Haridas Thakur is uh, we we saw this Karma Kanda. Now Haridas Thakur is talking about Gyan Kanda. So Gyan Kanda, what is Gyan Kanda? A person who becomes aware that Maya brings only suffering, and who therefore struggles to attain liberation is a Jnani. So who is a Jnani? Jnani is a person who understands that in this material world there is only problems. Means this material world is dukhalayam. Means he understands all these things, and when he understands all these things, uh, he wants to means he wants relief from all this misery, and but then he look after what is the solution. So that person is known as Gyani, and but is for the sake of these people merciful Lord Krishna. So what Krishna Krishna gave this Gyan Kanda process in the Vedic literature. So Lord Krishna gives the philosophy of Brahman in the Gyan Kanda part of the Vedas. So Vedas has many parts. Karma Kanda is there, Gyan Kanda is there, Then Upasana Kand is there. Upasana Kand is also, you can say, it's like, means it's a bhakti. So there are many sections in Vedas. So Krishna gives this Gyan Kanda process for the Gyanis who wants to who wants means relief from the misery. The soul who takes shelter of that Mayavad philosophy merge into Brahman and they attain a stunted kind of liberation. So, of course, that kind of liberation, we do not, in bhakti process, we do not appreciate that kind of liberation. Now, what is that kind of liberation? What is Brahman nature? So, Brahman is the effulgence of your body. Whose body is? Krishna's body. So, it shines on the farther bank of the Virja river. On the other side of the Virja river, or on the spiritual sky side, there is a Virja river. So impersonalists merge into it in in that effulgence. So this is known as impersonal liberation. Also, the demons which are killed by Krishna merge in that same Brahman. So sometimes devotees compare that means that liberation, impersonal liberation uh, is the same thing which demon also gets. So that is not so much appreciated by devotees. So this is the means sutra. The soul who have turned their faces from Lord Krishna. So the karmis, materialist and jnanis, sorry, karmis means materialist and jnanis means impersonalists, have both turned away their faces from Lord Krishna and they never taste the pleasure of service to Lord Krishna. So if you see in Karm Kanda and in Gyan Kanda, the person who are following them, they do not serve Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there is, of course, there is a very special kind of pleasure in serving Supreme Personality of Godhead, and only devotees, uh, only devotees get that pleasure. So same thing is mentioned here that Gyanis and Karmis, they do not get that pleasure. And all these Karmis and Gyanis, because they are not facing towards Supreme Personality of Godhead, so they are kind of Bahirmukha Jiva. Pious deeds performed by one eager for devotional service. So a person who is in bhakti process or who is following devotional service, uh, whatever they do, they or whatever kind of activities they do, means they get the sukriti. We discussed three kinds of sukriti is there. Karma Unmukhi sukriti means a person getting sukriti by karma kanda activities like mm, giving donation for the food distribution, then giving blankets to people in winter season, then opening of hospitals and all these things. Like this is the karma kanda activities, and this gives the karma unmukhi sukriti. Similarly, there are jnana unmukhi sukriti. One gets the sukriti by process of jnana kanda, and then there are bhakti unmukhi sukriti. One gets sukriti by bhakti process, or you can say uh, a person who is doing some activities, devotional activity, uh, they also gets bhakti unmukhi sukriti. And like we discussed that if somebody uh, is distributing blanket or is distributing some food eatable items, and a devotee, somehow the other a devotee comes there and he receives that food or blanket, and because a devotee receives that, so because of receiving by a devotee, that person, that karmi will get the sukriti also, and that sukriti will be bhakti unmukhi sukriti. And when that this sukriti means pile up, and a time will come when this will be sukriti will be matured, and then he will get the association of devotee, and then Shraddha will arise in his heart, and he will have faith on bhakti process, and then his account of bhakti will open. So this is kind of things. Out of mercy to the karmis and jnanis, the Lord creates the path of indirect devotional service. So there are two kinds of thing, means you can say one is direct path and another is indirect path. So direct path is bhakti process, indirect path is something which is given by Krishna for the jnanis and karmis or a bahirmukha jiva. Those persons who do not have faith in bhakti process. So what are these two, means these indirect processes? So indirect processes are, for karmis there is a devotional service mixed with karma, or you can say this is the karma yoga, means not karma kand but is a karma yoga. So what is karma yoga? Staying in varnashram dharma and associating with saintly person, a karmis walk on the path of indirect devotional service. So it's a devotional service, but it is an indirect way of devotional service, because he is following varnashram dharma also. But because he is associating with devotees, so it is devotional service also. So this is indirect devotional service. What will happen? So by performing the pious activities of karma, he purifies his heart, and when the impurities have gone, the seed of faith is planted within him. So when the person is doing, when person is in karma kanda activity, he is doing karma kanda activity, but he is also associating with devotees, and because he is associating with devotees and he is doing sakam karma or kind of things, and he is also offering the results of his activities to Supreme Personality of Godhead, then by doing all this activity, his heart will become pure in due course of time, and then the seed of faith will be planted in his heart. The path of devotional service mixed with jnana. So now this is the jnana yoga, because why it is yoga? Because there is a mixing of bhakti is also there. But this is also indirect way, because jnana is there, so there is mixing. By his devotees' mercy, a pious jnani easily attains faith in pure devotional service. So, in karma kanda also, by association of devotees, things will happen, and similarly in jnana also, by association of devotees or by the mercy of devotees, a jnani will have devotional service in due course of time. Now, the way to walk on the path of indirect devotional service. So, how this path is difficult? Uh, Indirect devotional service is always difficult to see. So, following his desires, I will guide him on the path of indirect devotional service. This is uh, this is spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is telling Haridas Thakur that because a person is having desires for jnana, a person is having desires for karma, means he wants some he is having some material desires. So following his desires, I will guide him. Who? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna will guide him on the path of indirect devotional service. And indirect devotional service, but in because there is a mixing of devotion also, so in due course of time, when the heart will become pure, he will do pure devotional service. Then I will give him faith in the path of direct devotional service. Direct devotional service means pure devotional service, means he is not doing any kind of karma kandi activity and gyan kandi activity. In Kali Yuga, the path of indirect devotional service is difficult. So we discussed in that when we were discussing this first chapter, no, that in Satyuga the process of liberation was tapasya, kind of meditation was there, and in Treta Yuga, yagya was the process of liberation or for self-realization. But in Kali Yuga, the process is Harinam Sankirtan. So, because this process of yagya and meditation is very difficult in Kali Yuga, because we discussed the uh, characteristics of a Kali Yuga Jiva, that our age is very short, lifetime is very short, and we cannot focus on things. We are always disturbed. All these things are there in the Kali Yuga Jiva. So these paths like meditation and yajna is not possible for a Kali Yuga Jiva. So out of mercy, Krishna gave this process of Harinam Sankirtan, and this Harinam Sankirtan is the direct process in the sense uh, there the in chanting the holy name, the goal and the way to attain it are not different. Means sadhan is the same thing and sadhya is also the same thing. Means we have to chanting is the chanting and devotional service means serving the supreme personality of Godhead is the path, is the sadhan, and the result which is sadhya is also the same thing. Means we have to chant uh, the holy names and the result is also more chanting. Means and similarly we have to attain the prema bhakti or devotional service to supreme personality of Godhead. The goal is serving the supreme personality of Godhead, and we achieve that goal by serving only. Means sadhan and sadhya are the same in this Kali Yuga, or the Harinam Sankirtan, the process of Harinam Sankirtan, which is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the holy name is the direct path. O Supreme Lord, thinking how to benefit the conditioned soul in Kali Yuga, you descended to this world with the holy name. You taught that Nam Sankirtan, chanting of the holy name, is the Yuga Dharma, religion of the age. By following this direct path of chanting the holy name, the conditioned soul attain a great treasure of love for Lord Krishna. So, of course, there are many treasures with Lord Krishna, but the treasure of love for Lord Krishna or the holy name is the greatest treasure in his treasury. Simply by chanting or remembering the holy name, the conditioned soul will delivered. So simply by chanting and remembering the holy name, conditioned soul will be delivered. So this is the sadhan, chanting and remembering. And sadhya is also more chanting. Sadhya is also means goal is also we have to chant more, and prema bhakti or prem nam, like we were discussing in our last class. There are many levels of chanting, na. So there are Suddha Nam, Bhav Nam, Prem Nam. So Prem Nam is the sadhya goal. So in this way, at the end, Haridas Thakur is showing his humility that I am a fallen, I am a plunged in the ocean of material sense object. O Lord, I will, I am such a fool that I did not worship your holy name. So shining and tears streaming from his eyes. Brahma Haridas. Why Brahma is there? Because Haridas Thakur is considered incarnation of Brahmaji. So Brahma Haridas fell before Lord Chaitanya's feet uh, in the mode of humility. And now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling, may this book Harinaam Chintamani become the very life of the souls whose only joy is devotional service to Lord Krishna and his devotees. So here we completed the first chapter, or we revised first chapter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you. So just want to check if anyone has any comment or question or want to add any points which they liked.
Devotees can also share their uh, means some points would be there,
Yeah.
or they realize something special.
Hare Krishna. So I have, I think we saw I saw the note very late in the night, but we revised. So still that question of that bhogonmaka sukriti, mokshonmaka sukriti, bhaktionmaka sukriti. So one who starts with karmakanda, because it is pure material, and you mentioned in the original class also that how much ever karmakanda they don't get any sukruti to perform bhakti. And then you mentioned that in that karmakanda activity, while he's performing this karmakanda activity, if he come across a devotee and he does some pious activity to a devotee, And from there, will he move to Bhaktionmukha Sukriti, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. I have means same.
No, so it is it going to, is it a hierarchy that there is a Bhogon, Karmonmukha Sukriti, Mokshonmukha Sukriti, and
No, no,
Bhaktionmukha Sukriti?
no hierarchy is there, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
It's whenever you come in across a devotee, in contact of a devotee, then bhakti will start in due course.
So
Means
all the three process requires
yes.
association with devotee in whichever way while they are doing the process,
Okay.
because
So, of course, this is not that it is destined. It is not like that. It is destined. It happens just by, you can say, this is the mercy of a devotee that he comes across you. And means if he is following Karma Kanda, and that's why uh, like we were told by na our in our movement we used to say that we should go on the street and we should do Harinam, we should try to preach. So this is the mercy of a devotee that he is preaching uh, outside in material world, and because of his preaching he is coming in contact of all these, you can say, Karm Kandi, Nastik, all these people. So this is purely means mercy of a devotee only. There is no, like, there is no hierarchy, or you can say it is in the destiny of that Karm Kandi person, that he will get the association of devotee one day. So this is purely the mercy of a devotee that he is coming in life of a Karm Kandi or a Gyan Kandi, and when he comes uh, because of that Sukriti, he will enter in bhakti. Am I uh,
yes, Prabhuji.
same
Yeah,
thing?
so little bit gray for me, so I asked, sorry for that.
Okay, but it is okay, na Guruji? But I'm
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this is purely, this is not destined uh, in his chart, or you can say in his life ki one day devotee will come. So this is purely the mercy of a devotee, that's why in our movement we used to say we have to go outside, we have to preach, we have to preach, we have to preach. Chaitanya means this is the moment of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing this freely. Means that's why he is known as magnanimous Mahavadanya avatar of Krishna, or he is Krishna himself, of course.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And one more thing is this Baddha Jivas and Nitya Muktas and Nitya Baddhas. And Nitya Baddhas turn away their face from Supreme Lord. And that's why they are in the Devi Dham. That's what was mentioned. And then we also said that these Jnanis and Karmis also they are they come under that
Bahirmukha.
Bahirmukha. But there is a difference between these two. This is because in two places, one place we said they are Vimukha, they turn away their faces, and the Jnanis and Karmis they are Bahirmukha. So I was not able to understand that difference.
Puji, I could not get your
No,
question.
what I'm saying is in one place in the chapter it was
Mm.
mentioned they turned away their face. They are the Nitya Baddhas, eternally conditioned. So, and then in another place we said Jnanis and Karmis, they are Bahirmukhas. So these two are same or one is superset of other?
Uh, you can say superset of other kind of, means this Bahirmukha in the sense they have turned their face away from Krishna, but somehow other they are following Vedas also, means there are some, they are following Karma Kanda section also, Gyan Kanda section also. So means they are following Vedic system also.
Okay,
But because
which means they will be again eventually because through the following the process they can attain the path of devotional service, right, Prabhuji? That Bahirmukha Jivas. but
Bahirmukha Jivas,
I will open.
yeah, Bahirmukha Jiva means it's a kind of term that they are not having, means they are not doing devotional service, kind of, I will say.
Yeah. Actually, Shanmukh Prabhuji, in the Karm Kanda section, if you see verse number 48, 49, they clearly says that enjoying the results of these material actions under Karm Kanda, one does not attain a spiritual peace. The struggle to attain material goals is a great mistake. By performing these auspicious material activities, one attains only temporary material pleasures.
Pleasures.
So, as His Grace Padmanabh Swaroop Prabhuji highlighted that, these Gyan Khanda or Karm Khanda people, they are doing their respective Onmukha Sukruti, but only when by mercy of a devotee or by mercy of Krishna, they come in association of a devotee, then they kind of graduate to Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti and in association of devotees. And if you see in verse number 51, that real result is attained only by performing very pious deeds. And thereafter he explains the petty pious deeds. So differentiation between Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti versus Karma Unmukhi Sukriti. So the petty pious deeds prescribed in Karma Kanda part of the Vedas will not bring it.
And these karmis and gyanis, they are all means what you asked now, this Nitya Baddha Nitya, and so they are coming in Nitya Baddha only. And also the devotees who are in this material world, they are also in Nitya Baddha, but because they are doing bhakti, in due course of time they will, if they go to spiritual world, then they will be sadhana siddha and other thing. So this Nitya Baddha is a big term, and Bahirmukha Jiva inside them, devotees are also inside them, Nitya Baddha.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sadhana,
And
who are
one
doing
more thing,
sadhana bhakti.
like last time when His Grace Padmanabh Swaroop was taking us through the section, he said that how then these Karm Kandi, Gyan Kandi people will, from Karma Unmukha Sukriti, Gyan Unmukha Sukriti, how will they end up being in Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti? So he explained that if while doing those petty pious deeds, they come in association of a devotee, in a sense, he's distributing blankets to everyone, he's kind of doing that charity to everyone. But if he does that to a devotee, then that very act will bring in that Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti. Because he by chance gives that blanket, or he gives the medicine or water or whatever. And then, he kind of graduates from Karm or Gyan Unmukhi Sukriti to Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So Prabhuji, Ramesh Prabhuji is asking questions regarding Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti. He is requesting if we can give more details around that.
So Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti means you can increase this Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti by following the Bhakti process or the 64 Angas of Bhakti, because now you are in Bhakti movement. So whatever means, it's very easy for you to know all these things. Means if you see this nectar of devotion, there are which is given by Srila Rupa Goswami. So there he gave 64 angas of bhakti. So you do all these 64 angas of bhakti, and then things will happen. So they are angas of bhakti. There is no need of specific sukriti means to you, means you do these 64 angas. So, and more details on Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti means we are doing some activity in relation to devotee, so that becomes the cause of Sukriti. So this is we were explaining this how a normal, or you can say how a atheist or a jnani karmi comes in the process of bhakti. For that, I was explaining this Unmukhi Sukritis. But for devotees who are in movement now, and they should do this Bhakti Anga, 64 Bhakti Angas. So this is any activity in relation to the devotees will attract Sukriti. So this is the main point. Any
Thank you,
activity
Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
in means any activity means if you are giving a devotee a glass of water, that will also be count in Sukriti. How you place the
Basically for my spiritual growth, I was more interested what
yeah, yeah.
what things can be done.
Yes. So there are 64 angas in nectar of devotion. You can follow that, or any activity in any way you serve the devotee. Means I was telling that this, if you give a glass of water to a devotee, that will also help you in progress.
Thanks, Prabhuji. Thanks. I will try to develop. Thank you.
Thanks all of you. Also, there are many comments appreciating the contribution of His Grace Padma. So, Prabhuji, how that, taking us through this very important text of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it is helping all of us. So, we are grateful and thankful to His Grace Padma. So, Prabhu, I personally know he stretches so much that it becomes very difficult for him to, go in so much depth. But nonetheless, he's doing everything for us. So we are very grateful and thankful to you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. His Grace Padmasambhava Prabhuji ki jai.
Prabhuji
Srila
ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dandavad Pranam, Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.